Well, this video is supposed to be, I just want to do this for a little bit of a celebratory type of thing. Uh, Today is June 2nd, 2017. Just a few days, June 8th, I will celebrate my 59th birthday. I started riding my bicycle in February of 2016, and actually I started doing it because of a knee problem that I was having. But I had all kinds of issues. I was dealing with the knees, especially my right knee, was hurting real bad. They were saying it wasn't tracking right. The kneecap wasn't tracking right. Um, I had a lot of inflammation, fibromyalgia. I'd been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and had actually been given medicine for that, Lyrica, but chose not to use the medicine because it just messed with me too much. So for several years, I'd just been dealing with the pain to the place where I couldn't stand to, like even a massage. It hurt to have someone touch my back. My legs felt, I used to describe it, they just felt heavy, tired, heavy all of the time. And really, I was just kind of making myself move, forcing myself to keep going. Now, I exercised this entire time. I had been involved. I did some weightlifting, but I had also done things like there's a FitStar, Tony Gonzalez FitStar application app on my phone. I'd done that, signed up and done that for a couple of years. Walked. I just have always been tried to do exercise. I have horses, and so there's hauling hay and bucking hay and those kind of things. So I kept doing those kind of things, but I just hurt all the time. So I started riding the bike mostly because of my knee. The physical therapist I was going to, and I'd been going to him for a long time. In fact, this physical therapist, it's elite physical therapy here in Spanaway, Lakewood, Tacoma area. And he had just, I had paid him a little bit, but he had agreed basically to just work on me. He said, "I'll tell you when I'm done." And he just kept helping me, trying to help me control some of the pain that I was in. But he wanted me to ride a bike. Every time I'd go in, I'd tell him what exercise I'd do, and he'd say, "Well, that's wonderful. Get on this exercise bike." And he'd get me on his exercise bike. Well, I don't have an exercise bike. Didn't want to buy an exercise bike, but I did have I did have a bicycle, and so I just thought, well, I'll start riding it as a inexpensive Walmart mountain bike, and I just started riding it. First day I rode it, February of 2016. I went 25 miles. I'm sorry, I went 2.5 miles in 25 minutes, and just continued riding it. That old bike, I rode it, got to where I was riding it for about 15 miles a day before I bought my Sirrus, my Specialized Sirrus Sport Disk. In May of 2016. It now has 4,500 miles on it. But today, as of today, and my knee, the fibromyalgia. I also was diagnosed with diabetes last year. I've been wrestling with insulin resistance, and those elevated blood sugars going up and up and up for several years now. But just last year, about the same time I started riding the bicycle, actually, doctor said, nah, I had blood levels, they put it like this, blood levels consistent with diabetes. So, and put me on medication. I was taking metformin for that. And although I don't think the metformin had ever really done anything, really, that I could see, that it had done much of anything. So I've been riding the bicycle as of today. Here's the thing. Today, my weight at today is, I weigh less today than I weighed 20 years ago when I moved away from Astoria, Oregon to work at a Bible college. The Bible college is where I kind of put on a lot of pounds fast. Way less than I did today than I did 20 years ago. My blood sugar, I haven't taken the metformin for 2 weeks, and my blood sugar levels are in normal ranges for the last 2 weeks without medication. And the pain is significantly gone. The knee problem is kind of there. That kneecap not tracking, it's sort of kind of there. I can feel it, but I've got enough strength in my legs that I power through it without any trouble whatsoever now. And I just feel good. I just feel good. And I think the bicycle had a lot to do with it. But the other thing that happened is back in February of this year, was it January of this year, I guess it was. I began listening to Keto Talk with Jimmy Moore and the Doc, and then just right after I started listening to him, he started a new program Jimmy Moore started a new program called Fasting Talk with now I can't remember the names, Megan Ramos, and I can't remember the doctor's name, fasting program. And so my wife got on board with this. She decided she could do this, the ketogenic diet, and so she's got on board with that. So we're working that kind of a diet, and then just not long after that, we started trying out intermittent fasting, where you fast for 16 hours per day and eat during just for 8 hours. So you have an 8-hour window. You do all your eating. It'd be from 11 to 7 kind of a thing is what we were doing. And then one day this week, Wednesday, we decided to fast all day long. So we fasted a total of about 36 hours. And again, it's working and feeling really, really good.